Howdy folks, I'm Ruffian Rock, ruefully requesting red rum.
I'm Amber.
And here's more red rum for us to request, but I mean, I guess like the moral of the story is don't fly and drink, and that causes murder. I don't know. So let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Brother That He Can't Bring His Dog on Our Family Weekend Away? I'm a 39-year-old male, and I'm starting to think that I have started a family argument over what I thought was a simple request. My brother, a 37-year-old, is obsessed with his Labrador, but I told him that his lab can't come away on this weekend getaway. Now my brother is threatening to skip the trip, and the family is divided. Am I the jerk? My wife and I had planned an anniversary treat for my parents as they were celebrating their 50th. We booked a country house that could accommodate me, my wife, 2 kids, parents, brother, and his wife and kid. We also booked a private chef for one night. The house has a no pets rule. The chef also needs to be free of pets while setting up and cooking. I thought that this would be fine by everyone, but my brother has always been glued to his lab, taking her everywhere. When I told my brother about the rules, he got upset and said that his lab was like a daughter, so she should be there. To try and accommodate her, he suggested that we leave the dog in the car while the chef was there, and said no one would ever find out. Well, I tried to shut this down by saying that it was against the rules, and I don't want his dog barking or running loose while we are trying to relax with the kids. My youngest is a bit fearful of dogs, and pet hair can be a bit of a trigger for their asthma. Well, things got a bit heated, and my brother said that he would bring the dog anyways. Well, I lost it, and I said that if you can't do this for a special occasion, then maybe you should just stay home. Well, he stormed off, and now our parents say that he's not coming unless dogs are allowed. My mom says that I'm being too harsh and that I should work it out with the house owner and make arrangements with a chef. Dad thinks that he's being a bit of a brat, and it's my call since I'm paying for it. I feel bad because me and my bro usually get along great, and I want him there for mom and dad. I even offered to cover the dog sitter or kennel for the weekend, but he called that offensive and said that the dog isn't just a pet. Am I the jerk for sticking to my guns? Do I try and find a compromise, or is my brother out of line? All right, folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. I mean, just like there are child-free events, there are also pet-free events. And so I understand that his dog is his family, but you have to accept that there are sometimes going to be events where dogs or children cannot go. And if you want to go to the events, then you're going to have to leave them at home. Now, if he can't do that, then he's well within his right to stay home. But he shouldn't be trying to guilt trip Opie into changing the plans to accommodate him.
Yeah, I mean, a weekend without his dog, I mean, people take weekends without their kids, right? And I mean, certainly, like, I think everyone's going to be different and it's going to have a different level of comfort and stuff like that. But maybe if OP knew that this was this important to him, then it might have been a good idea to rent a place that would have allowed dogs. But a lot of places just won't accommodate dogs, and so...
Well, and it sounds like OP's kid is bothered by them too, so
Yeah.
it's not, like, cool to make the kid deal with her fear.
Or allergies.
Yeah, and allergies the entire trip.
Yeah. I mean, it's a difficult situation. I mean, I certainly understand where OP is coming from. I understand where the brother is coming from a little bit here. I do think that he is being a little bit of a brat, but I understand, like, this seems like a very important thing to him, so much so that he is willing to miss this because of the pet, right?
Well, and Opie's even offered to cover, like, the pet boarding fee and everything, so I think at this point in time, like, if he wants to be stubborn, he can be stubborn, but then they should just do what they want to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult situation. I think that OP is just going to have to figure out what they want to do in this situation and go from there. It's hard. It's really hard. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. But folks, let's see what the Wheel of Judgment has to say. Wheel of Judgment, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the judgment that OP has earned. Oops, all jerks. I guess the wheel is in for judgment today. Out for blood. And Greek American Dom says, not the jerk. In regards to his lab was like a daughter. You know, at some point, it's healthy for parents of real kids to vacation without them. Stick to your guns. If he chooses not to go, that's his choice. And yes, he is being a jerk about this. And in regards to, my youngest is also a bit fearful of dogs, and pet hair can be a trigger of their asthma. Just the rules of the situation should be enough. but this right here should override any other consideration that he has about bringing the dog. It wouldn't be healthy for a child, end of story. And OP replies, thanks for seeing my point of view completely. It's a straightforward situation in my eyes. And Living Assumption 272 says, you said that he's both obsessed with and glued to his dog. Are you sure that there isn't a part of you that booked a no pets accommodation because you don't like your brother's attachment to his dog? It seems strange that you used this language but thought that it would be okay for him. And OP replies, when looking for accommodations, the nicest ones had no dogs rules and wanted to make it a special thing for my parents. And I should have also mentioned that the dog is not well trained. Okay, well, if the dog's not well trained, I was assuming that this dog was like well trained and well behaved, but if it's not even well trained and well behaved, that's actually going to be a problem, right? Because then it could cause destruction to the property. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk? I Don't Want to Take My Cat on Vacation. For the last decade, my family goes on a trip together every year. And in the past, I've always just brought I'm a 25-year-old female, cat, a 15-year-old female, with me because the place that we stayed at allowed pets. She's a great cat, pretty good with traveling, will wear a harness and walk around and gets along with other people's pets that are there, like dogs, for instance. But she's getting old and has some medical issues. She could probably make the trip just fine, but I just don't feel like doing it. And I don't really trust anyone to watch her while I'm gone because she's very clingy, and giving her the medication that she takes can be trying at times. I'm not trying to sound like a crazy cat lady. I didn't think that it was that big of a deal just to skip it this year, but my family's annoyed that I've brought her every other year, so thinks that it's really not an issue for doing it again. Well, there's going to be a lot of little kids, mostly toddlers, that come along, and we usually take turns doing stuff with them. And I get the impression that they were counting on me being there to help with that as one of the younger family members without kids, which I don't mind when I'm there, but I don't think that I'm a necessity. Lol, there's plenty of people to watch the kids. The 7-hour drive in the car with the cat and stuff I have to bring, litter box, medication, her bed and toys, all for just a couple of days, and then drive 7 hours back, is just not appealing to me this year. To note, there's no financial reason for them to be upset either. I offered to send money to cover my part of the renting, but there's so many people who go, I'm sure that somebody will snag my room because usually people have to double up anyways. Trip's coming up next month, and since I haven't officially canceled anything, family's been nonstop asking me to change my mind. All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. I mean, I think OP's cat's well-being comes first, and OP's comfort and well-being also are important here. You do not have to take your elderly cat on a trip just to appease people.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like this cat has a hard time traveling at this point in time and is now on a medication that's making that difficult. And I think that OP might be concerned for the cat's well-being and that maybe it will be really hard for them to take this trip. And so I think the family just needs to butt out and be understanding in this particular case. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Huge Nefarious 222 says, a 15-year-old cat doesn't need to go on a family vacation. No is a complete sentence. Tell them that you have to care for the cat and you aren't coming, period. And Becoming Maxine says, not the jerk. Wow, a 14-hour round trip for a 48-hour visit. You are a good sport. That's excuse enough not to go. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I would not take a 7-hour trip for a 48-hour visit. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Refusing to Give My Ex-Girlfriend's Dog Back After She Abandoned It with Me for a Year? Throwaway and fake names. I'm 29-year-old male, and I broke up with my ex, Chloe, a 28-year-old female, about 14 months ago. It was messy. When she moved out, I asked if I could watch her dog, a senior dachshund, Frank, for a couple of weeks, while she found a pet-friendly place. I agreed because I love the dog. Well, weeks turned into months, and for the first few months, she would text to ask about him. But she never came to visit, or sent money, or food, or vet bills. The text slowly stopped after about 6 months. I texted her and said, hey, are you going to get Frank soon? His food and care are getting expensive. She did reply after that, I'm still looking, thanks so much for doing this. At the 10-month mark, Frank had a big vet bill, and I spent over $300 on him, and I lost my job at the moment. I didn't even bother texting her. She hadn't reached out in 4 months. I paid all of it, and I officially considered him my dog. Well, last week, out of the blue, Chloe shows up at my door. She's got a new job, a new apartment, and a new boyfriend. She said, "I'm here for Frank. Thanks for watching him." I told her no. I said that she abandoned him. I've been his sole caretaker for over a year, and I paid for his bills and food. She got hysterical and called me a thief. She said that he was her emotional support animal during a relationship and she needs him back. She offered to pay me back for the surgeries in installments. I told her to get lost and I shut the door. Now she's blowing up my phone and her new boyfriend is sending me threatening messages. My friends are split. Some say that I saved the dog and he's mine. Others say that I'm being bitter and stealing her property out of spite, and that I should just have given her a chance to pay me back. All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. At this point in time, he's your dog. Like, you've been taking care of him for the last 10 months. And I understand finding pet-friendly places can be complicated. But, OP made it clear that, wasn't supposed to be a long-term thing. If she really wanted this, she should have found someone else who could take the dog long-term and still give the dog back to her.
Yeah. Well, I think this is one of those situations where this is why it's so important to get these kinds of things in writing and to really outline the expectations and say follow up and give calls and all kinds of things like that, because if she had just called OP during these times and said, "Hey, I'm really sorry, it's taking longer to find some place. Is there anything that you need for taking care of the dog, like food or vet bills or any number of things,"
or even
right?
just like a check-in. Like, if this dog meant so much to her, you would think that she would want regular check-ins to see how the dog is doing and stuff like that, and obviously that could get excessive, but I think the fact that she didn't reach out whatsoever for months is really pretty telling.
It is. And I mean, people get busy though, and I understand that. And that's the thing, is that I think she didn't do a good enough job at keeping on top of this if she was really interested in getting Frank back. And it's clear that OP, they do have some claim here, and I think that they're certainly entitled to keep this dog if they want to keep this dog, right? And I do feel like on some level she did abandon the dog, and that's just really the way it works sometimes. Like, she should have gotten this, made it really clear what the expectations were and followed up if she was really interested in getting this dog back. If she had done all that and OP just out of the blue was like, "Oh yeah, no, the dog's mine now," I would say that would be jerk territory on OP's part, but I don't think that that's the case here. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What might you call a smart parrot?
I would call a smart parrot a parrot.
A nerdy birdie.
Oh, a nerdy birdie.
And it's National Pet Bird Day today.
Oh, very nice. So find yourself a pet bird, probably a pigeon. They're very adoptable, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how adoptable pigeons are. This is complete fabrication. They actually are one of the discarded things that humans have left behind. Pigeons actually used to be very important to humans, did a lot of important jobs for humans, and now we've kind of just abandoned them. So,
which is sad. I love pigeons.
Yeah, they're nice. They're nice birds. They have a lot of personality, and they just don't understand why humans don't like them, because humans have spent ages making the birds like them, and now suddenly the birds are like, why don't they like us anymore?
I used to try to befriend them. Like, I wanted to be their friends. They would all cluster around Pickering Square in Bangor at the bus terminal. I always wanted to pet them and be their friends, but they wouldn't let me get close enough.
Yeah, probably didn't bribe them with enough food.
Yeah, I didn't.
And I have Earl Grey. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy wonderful Wednesday, Hump Day, Friday, Junior's Eve. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it a haiku for Haiku Wednesday.
Pets are family, but that doesn't mean they go everywhere you do.
I like it. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!
When she moved out, she asked if I could watch her dog, a senior dachshund, Frank, for a couple of weeks, while she found a Fett-friendly place. Apparently, she's moving in with Boba Fett, and he has a lot of bounty hunter equipment, and it's just a whole thing. Like, you gotta, a bounty hunter, like prepare the house and stuff like that, like what you do with toddlers. Like you got to bounty hunter proof it. That's what I was looking for. Proof. And Boba Fett, he makes a big mess. He's a clone, I think, and there's just a whole thing. Like you just don't know what you're dealing with when you get to have to move in with a Fett. It's just absurd levels of things. So I can understand why she wouldn't want to move in with Boba Fett and a dog. They're kind of both a mess. So yeah, not a jerk. The end. Do we need to read more? Oh yes, let's continue on.